Hi everybody, it's me, Helene here, Cabin Fever Crochet. And yes, it's been a couple of weeks and another very, very busy couple of weeks for me, but I just wanted to stop in on this beautiful spring afternoon here and wish everyone who celebrates a happy Easter and a happy Passover, whether you celebrate either or both. So I am enjoying a little off time today. I've just been coming and going and going and coming with hardly any time to crochet or do anything, but yes, I really still am working on that tutorial, and hopefully it will be soon. Tomorrow is my last physical therapy day. It's going to be my exit appointment, and I hope that they'll have a little time to do some more soft tissue work. To adjust as my hat adjusted, soft tissue work and working on the nerve stuff, but it's been very, very beneficial. And then I can continue on my own. I really do like their gym equipment and of course the pool, but I won't be so structured into a set schedule with that because, as mentioned before, I'm more active now again with my eBay shop and working on listings, so I have to just spread myself a little around here and there as time allows, and hopefully not so much to where I spread myself too thin, and then you know how that goes, just feel like you're just running around in circles doing stuff all day, but then nothing really gets done. So this week though, I went on a marathon necklace making spree and had a really good time with it. I just needed something, just some creative time, but where I didn't have to do counting and keeping track of stuff and making notes, and just to play around and have some fun. And I've been contemplating for a while that I really wanted to utilize some of the craft supplies that I have, and particularly when I was really into rubber stamping. And I still have a pretty nice little stamp collection, but when we did relocate, I passed on a lot of things, let some things go, and just kept a small sample of this and that. And there's still a couple of boxes that I have just kind of left tucked aside for when I was ready to get back into it. And when I've been thinking I wanted to do like a type of necklace that had a little bit lower price point, and that was something simple, and hopefully I could they would do really well at the upcoming farmers market that begins sometime in June here and runs through through September for sure. So it's just a 3 or 4 part of October. And for sure on the craft shows. And so this is new to me. It isn't new, I guess, in the world of craft making, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I discovered this one channel, THECRAFSMAN, and I'll put his link below, CRAFSMAN, SteadyCraftin, and I just think he's so neat, and I could listen to him talk all day, and he is very knowledgeable, shows a lot of a real range of things, and I was very intrigued by some of what he did, and this particular thing caught my eye. And then once I watched his, and I saw these different variations pop up on YouTube, and then of course then I have to kind of do my own thing with it too, and I start getting all these ideas with the different types of inks that I have and supplies, and how I can incorporate rubber stamping by doing different types of backgrounds with inks and sponges, and then embossing a scene on top of that. And there's even some real super thin, thinner than paper thin, gold and silver and different colored leafing that I have. I thought that I could decorate even its own design with that, or create like a butterfly or floral, some type of scene, and then maybe do a frame within the framework, so to speak, such as this. So here's the first one I made. I may decide to keep this one. It is a flower, and I don't know if you can tell that it has some sparkles. You know, I just discovered filming in full-on bright sunlight, where you actually like want to see in the camera colors and what's what, doesn't work very well, not for me. So I thought I would take this into the shade and start again. And this one has some sparkles in it, but you can use, I have so many supplies. I have a lot of jewelry supplies, a lot of the findings, the crimp ends, jump rings, clasps, that sort of thing, but those types of findings I use up very quickly when I'm making jewelry, head pins, all those kinds of things. So that's the only thing that I usually need to replace, but I had quite a few. I have several colors of this microfiber suede cord, which wears really nice. It's soft, and for those who don't want real leather, I might get some of the tubular type of leather just to have for those who do. So the only thing I really had to buy were these bezels to set them in, and I had the hole punch, so I used a variety of cardstock and also greeting cards that I've received from people, and I have a little collection of those, but I thought, well, how many can I keep, you know, and maybe I could just start utilizing and take some different elements off of those that I thought were really pretty, and just create from there, and then maybe add a little glitter glue or this or that. So these are actually 9 different pieces to make this up, and then several different stages of the layers of the glue and the dimensional glue and the drying time and that kind of thing. So I have a silver tone and the antique brass bezel pendant setting, and then this glass dome piece is separate as well. And I did see some epoxy or resin domes, and they have already the epoxy built into that. But for me personally, I just prefer the glass myself. And this hat I will show you at some point in the near future. My crochet hat collection of ones that I have made, some that I have designed, like this one that I'm wearing, and some that are for sale. This is just a simple decorative fabric ribbon that I had put that on there, and it's actually functional, so I can pull it and cinch it tighter if the wind picks up. And this is a nice, this can be a floppy hat too. I want a little more of that peripheral shade going on, or sometimes in the car when I'm driving I just might put the one side down where the sun comes in, because I'm noticing I'm getting a spot here and then one on my forehead from the driver's side. And I do have some hats that are a little more structured and wired, like this one that I wear a lot when I'm in full-on sun out in the yard. And this is a not really raffia. It's fabric. It's 65 paper, 15 poly, but this is really excellent. I mean, like, you know, like full-on hat coverage. I wear that one a lot. I don't take it to the lake though. I have my certain lake hats, and I wear those in the water in case they fall in the water, and they can just, you know, shake them dry. But my point to that is, you know, this one's not really packable because it's going to leave a crease. So I like hats that, if I can create them in such a way to where they have enough body to them that it will hold its shape in the brim, but that I can also roll them, stick them in a purse, a tote bag, and they're totally packable, and I don't have to worry about the shape, it getting all upset and bent out of shape. So I will show you my the crochet hats. I thought I'd break this into a couple different videos so that it's not overly long. But just to show you what I've been up to, that I am still here and I've been thinking of everybody. I just haven't had a whole lot of time. But I do want to show you real quick that yes, I really am working on this, and this is about as far as I've gotten. So just to give you a little sneak peek of the pattern that's going to be, and it's something that one version is a garment, and there are 2 other ways that you can create this for 2 other pieces that you can wear as well. So it's for the spring, summer months, something a little lighter and cooler on the body. So back to my little necklaces. I did quite a few, and here's a little flower on a pink. And I do, these are not posts or anything in my Etsy shop, but I do have my links below to my Etsy and my eBay stores. If anyone is interested, you can either leave a comment below. I can give you my contact info, or you can just message me through either the eBay or the Etsy shop. And I do have sterling silver clasps and the jump rings and so forth available, but I have used the gold and silver plated here just to keep the price point down a little bit. But you know, for anyone who does want a precious metal, I do have that available, and then these would be priced accordingly. But I have these in the antique brass and the silver tone. And this is a little butterfly, and it has some, I don't know if that's showing up or not, but a little bit of sparkle in there. And this was actually, but I am going to start actually creating my own designs for these, but it's just showing you a way that you can repurpose different cardstock and so forth. This was this was on an envelope, tie-dye design on an envelope I saved it because I just thought it was really pretty and I enjoyed looking at it. It hadn't been used, but I decided to just use it now. And so I made a little tie-dye with the kind of light navy cord on silver. And here's another sparkly, just very gentle sparkles. I think this one's really sweet, kind of a retro look to it. Let's see if I can get that in the camera a little better. There we go. No sparkles there, and this is on the antique brass tone. And yes, I used the shiny gold tone for the findings here, but on these crimp ends, the brass ones that I could find locally, they weren't very nice. They were too small. This is a 3mm cord, and they were too small for that, and it didn't look nice. I didn't care for the finished look on it, so I decided to use what I have, and they're a little better quality. The other ones were scratchy and rough and just didn't have a nice smooth clean finish. So I think that works okay. I mean, tell me, what do you think? Do you agree that works all right? And you know, this is going to be on the back of your neck, and it does pull out some of the light and tones in this. It's not all completely like, you know, flat one shade type, monochromatic one shade. So yeah, I really just want to go through my stuff and start using some of what I have. Now this was another technique that came up, using foil and then rolling out the foil and taking the drops. These are alcohol inks, and I apologize, I had them out when I filmed in the bright light and things didn't show up, but it's by Ranger Company, it is the brand, and the designer has his name on here, Tim Holtz, H-O-L-T-Z, and he works with Ranger and designs. He mostly works with rubber stamping and paper arts, but he incorporates all different types of elements and works with metals within that, and he's extremely creative, and you can find him on YouTube as well. And I had all this stuff from my rubber stamping days. I have a 6-pack of the alcohol inks, and I have the blending solution, but just keep in mind the blending solution, you be very careful with. You can use it from the bottle and work it in drops, but it's not anything you want to put a spritz bottle to spray on. And what this does is it mixes, it blends, and it removes the ink, so you can create a lot of different effects. You can create like white splotches if you do put drops on it. But the thing is, because it has resin in it, and if you spritz it, it mixes it to the air, and these molecules become airborne, and the resin adheres to everything, which would be including your lungs, breathing it in. So that's why you don't want to spray it, but you can work with it perfectly fine in other ways. There's a you could put it on a sponge to create a little mottled effect, more of a non-porous type of a sponge that's created for doing paper arts. But anyway, I did a few in the foil designs, which I want to show you. I just think they turned out really neat. The first one I did came out in these kind of orange and amber tones, but because the foil wind up crinkling and rolling it out a couple of times, and it creates a lot of peaks and valleys and highs and low spots, and the low spots, especially when doing multiple layers of the ink to create different colors, it creates these wells and these puddles, and so the wells to where the ink puddles in, and it just takes a lot longer to dry. And I probably didn't wait enough time when I started working with the dimensional glue and so forth, so to seal everything, and it wound up separating. But I actually kind of like that because it gave an interesting unique design in the center of the color. So I just decided to go with it, and I did 4, but the one, oh, so pretty, with all different types of pinks, from a lighter, a mid-range, more a hot pink, and then to a real deep burgundy. But that one got kind of funky once it dried, so learning curve. And then here's one with a range of aqua to like green, a little chartreuse, and then into the burgundy range, and I paired that with a burgundy cord. And this one I really like, from orange, rust red, again a little bit of aqua emerald green, and then it goes down into some very vibrant purpley colors. And I just had fun setting them, deciding on the placement and the angle where I put them into the bezel. So I really like this one a lot, a lot. So that's been my fun little project this week, because market's starting in less than 2 months, and that the time comes around very, very quickly. So, and I do want to make some more lightweight crochet items for that as well. And also, what I have been making is, I just played around, did a few more stitch markers, and when I initially made mine, I'd really wanted to use the lever back clasp, which are traditionally done for earrings, so rather than the lobster claw clasp, which is this type, because they do tend to get that caught up, and they're just a little more fiddly with opening and closing when you're working with crochet anyway. And I did go with a little bit larger one for the necklaces, just to make it easier for people if someone has small fingers or not a lot of dexterity, just to make it easier to take on and off. But as far as for the stitch markers go, when I initially made the ones I showed a while back, the only lever backs that I could find, they didn't have any type of plating or finishing. They were just very raw base metal. They didn't look nice, they didn't feel nice, they were rough, had a lot of sharp edges to them, and I didn't care for them at all, and they were smaller too. So when I went to the craft store recently, I saw they had these back in stock, and they're reasonable. I have some, but they're sterling silver, and they're for the finer jewelry, and it's not practical because they are a little more costly, so it's not cost effective or practical for stitch marker. But I thought these work out real well, and as you can see, they open very wide, so it's easier to get on and off your work, you know, much easier. Hopefully you could see that. So I made a little peace sign with a sapphire colored bead, and then I did another little butterfly, and this one's in a aquamarine color. And then I found these little enameled charms, and I thought they're just darling. And I really didn't need much. I don't want them too long because then they will get tangled in work. So cute little owl, and all I did was put on a couple jump rings at the top too, so it would have a little more dangle, but not overly so. So that is really pretty much it that I've been working on. And so now with PT wrapping up, and I don't have tons of things on the calendar right now other than my usual work that I need to do, so that'll give me more time to get back and get this finished and going so I can present that to you soon, because it is you know, lighter weight yarn and something that hopefully you will enjoy throughout the spring and summer months. Okay, so that is it. That's a wrap for now. I hope you all are doing well and enjoying whatever it is that you do and enjoy, and you will have a lovely rest of your day or evening. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping in.